Hello, welcome to another one of these videos. My name is Jay Callanan. I am the mastermind behind Relics of Hyrule, and I am here to tell you how to make articles for the Relics of Hyrule wiki about NPCs. I already made a video about basics of article making. This is more about specific kinds of articles. Items are easy, NPCs not so much. So let's get started. Here's an article that was already made. Yolanda starts out by saying who she is, what she do, where she's found, her equipment, and stuff like that. There's lore for her, background, but I am the only one who actually knows the lore, so please don't fill out any lore. And there's a gallery. Other characters are a little different, so everyone has their own differences. So like Valentine, for instance, is an author, so she has a separate extra section that's unique to her, about what she's written. All of the NPCs, however, have all this stuff on the info box, which may look daunting, but I'll walk you through it, and I'll explain little details here and there. I'm going to open... Can I get to Yolanda? Yes. Yolanda is going to open in a new tab. So, let's get started. I already started Ignacia's article, and I did that by just clicking on that empty link. If it's red, that means it's going to a page that doesn't exist. And if you're going to make a page, please add information. Don't just go, Ignacia exists, and then save the page. That is actually worse than having no page at all, because somebody's going to look for Ignacia, they're going to find a page that says Ignacia exists, and they're going to be like, I know that, and then they're going to get mad at me, because I made every page on this wiki, apparently. Anyway, let's start by adding an info box, actor NPC, and we already have the name. We're going to add an image, and I'll explain how to make these images in a Momo, because one page needs an image, and I'll get that image. So there's Ignacia. And ref ID. Right away, this is the hardest thing to find. Open Xedit Creation Kit. Xedit is probably the best option for this. The ref ID, you have to open Relics of Hyrule Dragonborn.esp normally. Don't do shift click, because that will open without reference data. You need reference data for the reference ID. Referenced by... This right here is the placement of Ignacia in Dead Man's Drink. Her base ID is right here. Her base ID is her form ID. Her ref ID is right there. ACHR04CC7FBB. So for ref ID, I'm going to write parenthesis astrope CC7FBB. That is her ref ID, and we know her base ID is CC7 FB9. You can also find the ref ID in-game by finding Ignacia in Dead Man's Drink and opening the console and then clicking on her, and that will give you her ref ID. So we'll verify that when I open the video game to make sure that we have the right ID, but that is the ID. Editor ID is the editor ID, Ignacia ROH. Her race is Imperial, and her technical race is Imperial. Now, it may be kind of confusing. What's the difference between race and technical race? Well, race is like the lore race, like who she actually is. Yolanda, for instance, is a Hylian vampire. But technically, she's a high elf, because according to the game, for all intents and purposes, the game treats Yolanda as a high elf. But Valentine, for instance, is a Khajiit, and she's technically a Khajiit. So that's what technical race means. If these are flip-flopped, that's no big deal. The important thing is that if a character is listed as a Hylian vampire, that they have that distinction between who they are according to the lore, i.e. race, and who they are technically, high elf. Ignacia's female. She is good. That's the morality. Level. She actually levels with the player, but we can verify that by going to her data. Her sex is right there, and her level is not listed, but we can see that the level molt is 1, and it is connected to the player. So her level is, you can do this a few different ways. You can do 1.0 times player level, or equal to player level, or player level. Any one of those works. I'm going to go with equal 1 times player level. Other characters, like the Lesser Poe, have a different level molt, so the multiplier. So if I did a Lesser Poe article, which I will eventually, if there's not one already, I will put 0.4 times player level. Are there any... yes. Are there any characters who have a set level? Yes. This Hagraven has a set level of 20. So the article for this specific Hagraven, the level would be listed as 20. There's no calculation involved. So let's go back to Ignacia. She does not have that. She just has level molt. If she was level 20, it would say level 20. Base health. That is down here under skills, player skills. Right down here, 108 is her base health. Base magicka is 50. And base stamina was 67. And that's it. It's base data because she levels with the player, and depending on different modifications, like if she was wearing an enchanted piece of armor that fortified her level, that would change things. We need her aggression, which is in AI data. So her aggression is aggressive. Her essential state, she is not listed as essential. It would say flags essential and then essential. She is not essential, but she is protected. So I'm going to list essential state protected, which means instead of dying, she's going to go into a bleed out state and not die right away. But if she gets hit again, she'll die. Player skills, primary skills would be her highest skills. So her highest skill is heavy armor, so I'm going to list that first. And then after heavy armor is block. And then it's two-handed. And then one-handed. And then from there, restoration. Oh no, restoration is more than one-handed. And then 24 marksman, looks like. Marksman. I usually go with any skill that's over 20, I'll list as her primary skills. 15 means she doesn't know anything about it. She just sort of had a natural penchant for it. And then these two, Destruction and Chanting, just have a 5-level boost. So primary skills are those. Perks, those would be down here. Nope, that's not where her perks are at all. Where are her perks? Does she have any perks? Where are her spells, for that matter? Does she have any spells? Okay, this is all face data, so we don't need any of that. I'm looking in here to see if there's any skill offsets. No. Keywords, no. Perks. She does not have any perks, so none. Spells, I don't think she has any spells either. No spells. None. Yolanda, on the other hand, or Latimer for that matter, Latimer does have perks and spells. Perk count, 9, and there's all his perks. Oh, geez, he can cut people's heads off. So there's his perks, and then his spells and incantations for those with the talents to cast them. Does he have any spells? He should. Yes, those would be on After Effects. Or Actor Effects. So there's his technical raise, High Elf, and then right under that is his spells. But Ignacia does not have any, so under her Actor Effects... Oh, she has one. She has flames, it looks like. Or leveled fire spells right under Actor Effects, under her race. So she has leveled fire spells. Which is interesting. Class. Her class is Warrior. I'm gonna do Combat Warrior 2H to distinguish it from anything else. You could write Warrior, but I'm gonna use the actual editor ID of the class because Warrior is too vague. The class ID tells me that it's two-handed. And her factions. So up here, right under configuration, under faction section, potential marriage faction, potential follower faction, current no, she's not. Hireling. Oh, I'm just gonna copy that. Boop. Okay. There we go. That is her info box all filled out. Everything's good. I did not put in an image caption for her or a map. Her map goes to Falkreath. That is optional. If we needed to add that, we could. But she's not in any special place. She's just in Falkreath. Dead Man's Drink. And then writing the article is exactly the same as writing a normal article. So you can check out the video on writing standard articles. There's nothing really super important about that, but the thing to do would be list it the way that Valentine and Yolanda are listed. Their equipment, where they are, who they are. So Ignacia is a Imperial adventurer found in dead lands. Drink in Falkreath. She is the author of Ignacia's journals and Orwitter's All. Boop. And boop. Ignacia wears, and then we look at her equipment. She wears an outfit, right? Her outfit is a certain outfit. There's her inventory. Doesn't have much. Armor, steel, no bracers or helmet set. So now we need to find that outfit. It looks like it is an outfit that is made by Relics of Hyrule. So let's find that outfit. It is armor, steel, no bracers. So that we know exactly what she's wearing. Armor, steel, no bracers. So she wears steel cuffed boots and steel armor. And she carries, and that's her inventory that we're going to look at now. She carries an ancient Nord sword. Fairy letter and random loot. I'm gonna look up this just to make absolutely sure that I know what it is instead of just saying random loot. It is loot citizen, common pockets, loot citizen. No, that's L item. Loot. Where is it? Oh, that's the wrong thing. It's in Skyrim.esm. Silly me. Level item. Loot. Loot citizen. Citizen pockets common. So that's food, lockpick, coin purse, drinks, necklaces, rings, that sort of thing. And loot common to citizens, such as a small That's good enough. Now, that's pretty much it for her. So then we can do another heading. And that would be lore and then background. Which I will do later. It's no big deal. See also, and then we'll do a gallery, and in that gallery we can place picture of her from the side, or close up of her face. And I'm going to get rid of that so that it doesn't get modified by the info box. Add a caption. Close view of Ignatia's face, and then I'm gonna add the other view. Bada bing, bada boom. You could also add a gallery, like an actual proper gallery. But I don't usually bother making proper, like, using the gallery function. No big deal. And I will link her to Ignacia's journal, volume 1. And Valentine. And more visual. I misspelled my wrong. It is KC, because that makes sense. Okay. I'll finish the lore and background later. But Ignacia's article is essentially finished, more or less. Obviously, it's missing a couple things, but lore will just be like, she's in more original, background will be when she was added. Now, how did I get this picture of her with a black background? Well, let's find out. I'm going to close this out, and I'll bring you back in Skyrim, the actual game. Okay. We're in Dead Man's Drink. We're going to find Ignacia. There she is.
Yes?
And we're going to click on her. I opened the console. I'm going to click on her. And there we go. That is her ref ID, CC7FBB. This up here is MFG console. It just adds a little more to it. These are not valid information for the wiki, because this is based on the fact that she's leveled to my level, which is 29. So don't do that. But this is a valid ID. This is her base ID up here. Yeah, that's the ref ID, that's her base ID. Cool. Now, let's go to COC ROH image cell. And this location is a place that I made so that you can take pictures with a black background. And please submit pictures with black backgrounds or dark gray, so that everything looks proper. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to do player.placeAtMe 20, because that's Relics of Hyrule, CC7 FB9, because that's Ignacia, and there she is. And we're gonna back up, and we're gonna do TFC. Obviously we want her facing the right way. Hey, how's it going?
Out with it.
There we go. She is in the dark right now, which is not great. So what I'm gonna do is use Jackson's positioner to force her to get over here. And that's how we could take a picture of her.
How's it going?
That's decent. But we need a picture of Dlectrin. We don't need a picture of her. Maybe I should take a picture of her.
Yes?
Whatever. Help. Delectrin. Player dot place at me. At me. I'm gonna do the bottom one. Where'd he go? Oh, there he is. Okay, so we're gonna get rid of her. Boop. And we're gonna make a picture of him. TFC. Actually, TFC 1. That way it's locked. And I'm gonna do Suxum 3, which will allow me a little more control. Maybe Suxum 1. That way it's not quite as hard to move. So I'm gonna do TM. Take a screenshot of his face. Ooh, actually that's a better close-up. And then gonna zoom out and get a full image of him from the front if my character was not in the way. So my recommendation is to get close to the gossip stone and then stand next to it or stand it with behind you and then summon the character using the console. That way you get the right lighting. And there we go. That looks like a good picture for the wiki. So the commands I used to TFC is toggle free camera. 1 adds a forces it to not have any movement. So it just locks everything, it freezes everything. TM disables the menu, so you don't have the crosshair and the compass. Compass is no big deal, I can crop that out, I can Photoshop that out. But the compass, the crosshair, that is annoying, and that's harder to Photoshop out. So please use TM to disable that. Then Suxum, that changes the speed that the camera moves at. So 10 is the normal. I set it to 1 so I had more control over how it moves. Right now, this is like Suxum 1, Suxum 10. If I set it to TFC, then you can see it's much slower, and I can get more control over the speed. And that's pretty much it for making NPC articles. Yes. I'm going to just crop the image for Delectrin here and pop it up, but you already saw me upload an image for Ignacia. It's pretty much the same thing. Just you would pop that image into Paint or Photoshop and sort of get rid of a lot of the black. But it's no big deal if you upload an image that has all that black on the side. I can always fix it. The biggest thing is to have a black background and use the ROH image cell to do that. So thanks for watching. Hopefully this helps. I'll make another video on locations, which are another tricky thing to do. Please continue helping out with the wiki. It's a lot of help. It's a lot of information that needs to be organized, and I'm one guy, and I'm also busy working on the mod and adding new stuff and fixing stuff. So thank you much for helping, and thanks for watching. Have a good day. How's it going, Delectrin?
Need something?
Nope, I don't need nothing.
Hmm?
Hmm?